Well, we would not have the bounty of fruits and vegetables we do without the help of pollinators. The most well-known and loved pollinator is, of course, the honeybee.
For Amy Weeks of West Monroe, hives of bees are more than a source of food and income. They're part of her Louisiana farm life.
That sound is more calming than music to Amy Weeks.
Whenever I have my hive in the face, surrounded by all these bees, my face in their home, you really can't think about anything else. So if you have troubles and you have weighty thoughts, everything gets pushed to the back because you have to focus on what's right in front of you.
Weeks is a master craftsman beekeeper and keeps hives around her home in a Ouachita parish.
It's very peaceful. I get to work outside, which I love, and they're just fascinating creatures.
Watching Weeks work her hives, it's easy to understand the calm, despite the potential for a pretty painful sting from any of the worker bees.
If you are calm and careful, then you're not going to be irritating them, and it's kind of a mutual respect thing that happens.
It's respect the bees earned by creating complex geometric shapes and beneficial compounds.
Amazes me every time I look at it that the bees are able to accomplish in the dark such perfect architecture and just a perfect system where they're able to store their food for the winter. And they do that all by working together. No one bee does everything, so they all have to rely on each other. It's very inspiring.
Weeks started her hive families shortly after she and her husband started their own. She had a great uncle who kept bees, but it was equipment her in-laws had that got her started. But rather than raise bees for honey, Weeks raises them for one particular bee.
The queen bee that's an interesting thing just in itself, and I'm able to ship those through the mail all over the country, so that's just a neat thing to be a part of.
Weeks sells about 1,000 queen bees a year, which changes her approach to beekeeping.
The whole process is very different from just regular beekeeping because each queen has to have her own little box, and so it takes about a month to make a queen from beginning to end. And so in my bee yard, I'll have hundreds of little boxes out, and there's one queen in each, and I wait until I know that she's mated well and laying eggs well before she's sold. And I raise a specific kind of bee that's been it's been bred to be hygienic, which means naturally disease resistant.
So who would buy a queen bee from Weeks?
People who have lost their queen and need a replacement, or they have a poor queen, or they're making a new hive and have no queen, those people would call me to get a queen bee.
Which could make Weeks the queen bee of the queen bees.
They're just such a giving insect. They overproduce honey so that they can share. Not so they can share, but they do share their crop. The propolis that they collect is very beneficial health-wise and medicinally. It's like everything about it just seems good.
While selling queen bees through the mail is Weeks' main source of income from raising bees, she does collect honey a few times a year and markets it as my favorite honey. It's not the easiest to find, again, because she's not collecting honey as often, but I can assure you it is really, really good.